Hi everybody, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. So on this video today, I'll be guiding you on how you can apply for the diversity visa lottery using your mobile phone. Now, as you can see on this form, the first part is to fill your personal information, which is your last name, your first name, and your middle name. Now, I always advise that you do this yourself. You place in your entry yourself so that you can carefully go through the form. For example, let's take your name is for Ella Maya. This is how it is going to appear. For is going to be family name, Ella first name, and Maya is going to be your middle name. Now, there are people who don't have three names. So if you have just two names, it means you do not have a middle name. In that case, you're just going to be for Ella. So you're just going to use this example to know how to better place your name on the form. The next is to select your gender, which is male or female. After that, you need to choose your birth date, which the format says here month, day, and year. So just make sure you don't mix it up. So after filling in your birth date, you have to go ahead and fill the city where you were born. Now, when it comes to this city, they say enter birth city alone. Do not enter district, county, province, or state. Now, if you don't know the city where you were born, you go ahead and check the little box. But if you know, you put it in. That city is always on your birth certificate. After that, you go ahead and select your country where it says country where you were born. So when you select your country, the next part is to select country of eligibility for DV program. Now make sure you read this note that says your country of eligibility will normally be the same as your country of birth. Your country of eligibility is not related to where you live. If you were born in a country that is not eligible for the DV program, please go to explanation of country of eligibility to see if there is another option available in your case. Are you claiming eligibility based on the country where you were born? You will just go ahead and say yes. That is if you were born in a country that is currently eligible. But if your country is not eligible and you're married to a spouse from an eligible country, you're going to take no, and then you will go ahead and look for the explanation that suits your case. So it also says if not, you must enter the country from which you are claiming eligibility. Now, you need to go ahead and select that country, the country that you're claiming your eligibility from. The next part is to fill your entrance photograph. So, photo must be submitted at the time of EDV entry. Now, you need to make sure that your photo was recently taken. That is within 6 months. You don't need to use a photo that you used last year or you used the last 2 years. Make sure you always get a new photo every year for this program. Now, once the website is open, you will have a DV lottery photo tool that you can use to also double check that your photo fits all the requirements, because it is very necessary. Once you go ahead and check that and your photo is perfect, you will move to the next stage. Like I said earlier, it is important to always go ahead and read this information, which says photographs that do not comply with all specifications, including but not limited to recency of photos. That is, it must be taken in the last 6 months. Composition of the photos and acceptable backgrounds are grounds for disqualification of the entire entry. So, make sure that your photo meets every requirement. The next thing we are going to fill is going to be your mailing address. So, in care of is optional, but if you want to fill it, you go ahead and fill. So, it is just you filling the name of anyone you are living with. It could be your uncle, it could be your aunt, it could be any relative you're living with. You can decide to put their name in that place of in care of. Now, address line 1 is a necessity, so you need to go ahead and fill in your address. And also, you select your city or town. Now, this address line 1, it could be, for example, Bonaberi, Mabanda, to be precise. And now your city, it could be Douala. So, it will not be Douala in the place of city and then Bonaberi, Mabanda, to be precise. Now you go ahead and fill your district, your county, province, or state. So if, for example, we're using Douala, it is going to be Littoral. Now the next stage is to fill your postal/zip code. And if your country does not have a zip code like Cameroon, you go ahead and check the little box that says no postal code, sorry. And then you select your country. Make sure you check that box that says no postal code. The next country where you live today, you go ahead and check the box and you select the name of your country from the list of countries. And for phone number, it is optional. If you want to put it, you go ahead. If not, you leave it out. The next is going to be your email address, which is very necessary because it is on that email address that they are going to send the detail of your information if anything is needed. So if you win, they are going to send you information through that email. The next is to fill what is the highest level of education you have achieved as of today. You go ahead and select based on what you have at the moment. And also note that you must have a minimum of a high school diploma reflecting the completion of a full course of study. In bracket, vocation, school, or equivalency degree are not acceptable. Or you have to be a skilled worker in an occupation that requires at least 2 years of training or experience to qualify. Now, when the website will be open for entries, this link below will be in blue, so you can go there and check. That is if you don't have a certificate of study, but you have a skill that you can use to check or to apply for the diversity visa. So you just go to that link and you check if your skill fall in the list of skills that can qualify for the diversity visa application. So if you qualify through a skill or through your high school certificate, you're going to use it for your entry. Now the next thing for us to choose is going to be, what is your current marital status? So if you're unmarried, you check it, you select that button. If you're married and your spouse is not US citizen or US lawful permanent resident, you select. So if you are married and you select it, they are going to give you an option to enter your spouse information. But if you are not married, you will not have to go through that. Now the next is going to be number of children. So if you have children, you go ahead and put the number in here. Remember that if you do not put in your children and you end up winning, if they discover that you lied about your children, they will not give you the visa. Now, children include all biological children, legally adopted children, and stepchildren who are unmarried and under the age of 21 on the date of submission, on the date you submit your entry. So you must include all eligible children, even if they do not live with you. So always go through this form. And if you click submit and it does not go, it means there is something you have left out. So make sure you double check your work before you click the submit. Always remember to read through the notes that are found in between the application because they can change at any time. Even if it's something you already know, always try to read through it so that you will be sure that whatever you are filling in your application is exactly what is required. Now, after double checking your work and submitting, remember to download the confirmation page because you're going to need it to check your results. So you can download it in your phone. You can send it to a friend to also keep a copy in case you lost it. You can also print it out and keep. It is always good to print a copy and keep, and also have a copy in your phone. Thank you for watching, and this is where the video ends. See you in my next video, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section and I will be glad to answer. Bye.